Welcome to part 2 of Optimus Prime deck, and we left off talking about Solum Simulacrum, and we're going to go to Snapcaster Mage. Alright, I run 3 Snapcaster Mages in this deck. He's a great utility card. He flashes for 1 blue, 1 colorless, 2, 1. Pretty much what he does is whenever you play him, whenever he comes into play, you gain access to any instance of sorcery that would be in your graveyard, and it gains flashback for its original casting cost. I run 3 of them because this is kind of a tempo deck, so I don't want to run 4 because I don't want to be flooded with Snapcasters in my hand. I do have quite a bit of instance of sorceries to play with Snapcaster Mage. So 9 times out of 10, I am able to play something out of my graveyard. You know, all depends on the situation that I find myself. Next card will be Delver. Delver of Secrets. 1 blue, 1 1. At the beginning of your upkeep, reveal the top card of your library. If it's an instance or sorcery, transform Delver of Secrets. And onto the backside, he is a 2/3 flying insect abomination. He's very powerful, a great 1-drop. I do play 4 of them because he is so powerful, and I didn't want this to be a Delver deck, and if I could take Delver out to find a card that was just as powerful as Delver, I would. But Delver is a pretty powerhouse, powerful card. So, replacing him would be kind of hard. I mean, he does fit with the theme of transforming, and he is a 1-drop that can get big fast. So that concludes all the creatures that we have in the deck. I know Chalice of Life is not a creature, or the equipment card is not a creature, but I put them in the creature line because it's almost like a direct deal with it. I got some light issues here. Let me try to turn this light off again. Alright, hopefully it's not going to be too dark. Alright, there we go. Perfect. Alright, so the next line we're going to go down to today is the Instant Sorcery line. This is kind of the utility burn / counter controlling part of it. I don't want to be a control deck, so I don't play a lot of 4-ofs as far as controlling cards as 4-ofs. So, but we'll start off with Galvanic Blast. It's a 1 red casting cost instant. Galvanic Blast does 2 damage to target creature or player. If you have Metal Crafting, then it deals 4 damage instead. There's been very few times that I've actually had Metal Crafting to activate to get the full 4. The full 4, but it is possible in this deck to actually do it because I am running about 11 artifacts. Next card I want to talk about is the Mana Leak. I'm running 2 Mana Leaks. It's not a counter heavy deck, so having 4 copies of it is not really relevant. Mostly I just want to counter the stuff that hurts my board state, and that will interrupt my tempo. 1 blue, 1 colorless, counter target spell unless its controller pays 3. It works at instant speed. I've been thinking about trying to do full art on this one, but I haven't yet, attempted it yet. So hopefully sometime soon I'll be doing full art Mana Leaks. Next we have a card that I particularly didn't like to play against. It'll be Vapor Snag. Vapor Snag is an excellent utility card for getting rid of blockers that you don't want there. And I only run 2 Vapor Snags because, like I said, I don't want to be a complete controlling deck, but I do want to have that little bit of utility to be able to bounce creatures from the battlefield back to their hand, so I can get through with Soul Caesar or some of my other creatures to deal some surface damage on them. But I do only run 2 of them. Like I said, this deck is in testing stage. So some of the stuff may change whenever I go to Nashville this weekend. to try to play in that Star City Games qualifier. Next we have ponders. I run 2 ponders. This number may go up just due to the fact that I do have a Delver, and it helps Delver flip. But as of right now, I'm only going to run 2, because I don't really have a lot of space for other stuff, and I do like to play more than one-ofs. I do have, the 3 one-ofs, which, could possibly change after this weekend. But right now, that's the one-ofs I have. But the ponder is really good because again can give you card advantage. For 1 blue, you look at the top 3 cards of your library, put them back in any order, or you may shuffle your library. You may shuffle your Oh yeah, duh. Or you may shuffle your library pretty much, and then draw a card. So it's when you draw those 3 cards, you want to know. It's telling you 2 things. It's telling you, alright, this is what your next 3 draws will be, and hey, and for second, can you get card advantage out of these 3 cards, or would it be better, if those 3 cards is not what you're looking for, could you possibly, you could possibly shuffle them away to try to find something that would work for you. The next card is a card that I used to play in Hippo Blade deck, and so I kind of was like, I had great success board sweeping with Whip Flare, and I thought I'd bring it on over here to the Optimus Prime deck, just due to the fact that I do have quite a bit of artifacts, especially Solemn Simulacrum is the most notable creature artifact, other than Wormcoil Engine, but, as long as I got Solemn out, and a lot of people ask me, well, don't you want Solemn to die so you can draw a card? No, not always. If Solemn dies, I would like for him to die for an advantage other than just drawing that card, because sometimes what if I draw a land, then he doesn't really give me a good advantage where a 2/2 creature on the battlefield will be presumed more have a more advantage than drawing a land. So be it. But Whip Flare, Whip Flare deals 2 damage to each creature, each non-artifact creature. So pretty much, perfect example. I was playing a guy with playing Mage Blade Delver. He had 2 Delvers out. One of them was equipped with the Rune Chiner's Pike. I had a Solemn out. He was getting ready to hit me with probably lethal damage flying in the air. It was my turn. I drew a Whip Flare. I pretty much cleared his board state and pretty much took over the game just because I top decked a Whip Flare and my Solemn lived. Now, speaking of Solemn living, well, Slagstorm, Solemn would not live. I didn't want to run 4 of Slagstorm because I do like the ability of Whip Flare, and I didn't want to run 4 of Whip Flare because it is only 2 damage to non-artifact creatures. There's a lot of artifact creatures out there, and I wanted to be able to get rid of them, without using a Galvanic Blast on them. So I put 2 Slagstorms in here, which is a really good board sweeper. Keswick Wolfrun's been using it for ever since Keswick Wolfrun's been around, pretty much, to help board sweeps, to help them get a lot of their damage in. It's 2 red, 1 colorless. Choose one. Either deal 3 damage to creatures, or deal 3 damage to each player. So it's a very good board sweeper. I've been impressed with it, especially if they have a Titan out, and I'm able to Slagstorm. I can always Snapcaster Slagstorm, if I have the mana, of course. But it just helps. Perfect example is, I was playing a game the other night, and the dude, Black Sun Zenith, everything for 3. He had a Grave Titan out, so he had 3 -1 -1 counters, and I hadn't played a Slagstorm yet. I had played a Whip Flare before, and so he thought he was going to be safe because 3 damage got rid of all my other stuff, Test Subject, Soul Caesar, and that's pretty much what he was trying to get rid of. He was trying to get rid of my Soul Caesar and my Test Subject because I had 4 counters on my Test Subject, and I was getting ready next turn. I was getting ready to attack him with Soul Caesar and take his Grave Titan, and pretty much he Black Sun Zenith for 3, got rid of all that. So the next turn, I pretty much Slag Storm, got rid of all of his zombies and his Grave Titan, and he was pretty much bummed out anyway. So that's what I really like about this deck. There's so many little synergies that go on in this deck that it's very, very compelling. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and go into the artifact section right quick before we cut off for part 3, which are the lands. The artifact section consists of 2 separate cards. I mean, I know Chalice of Life, but it's in the one-ofs. Is Piston Sledge, which is an excellent card that I found out. There's 2 reasons why this card is really good. It's a 3/1 that pretty much comes into play equipped to a creature that you don't have to pay equip cost when it first comes into play. And for 2, if you decide to equip it to another creature, there's plenty of stuff in my deck that whenever I sacrifice an artifact, the ability is equipped, sacrifice an artifact. So if I have Solemn Simulacrum, I can draw a card if I sacrifice it. Ichor Wellsprings, which is the next card I'll be talking about, I can sacrifice to draw a card. Wormcoil Engine over here, if I sacrifice it, I get 2 3/3s. The only 2 artifacts that really does not benefit from Piston Sledge at all or giving me any pluses is the Chalice of Life and the dagger, or the Burning Blade equipment. So pretty much it helps me not feel so bad for sacrificing something to, because if I've got a Solemn Simulacrum and I flip Delver out and he's got a blocker, and I've got a Piston Sledge that's, sitting on Simulacrum. Yeah, I could get 3 damage through with Delver, but why would I want just 3 when I can get 6? All I do is sacrifice Solemn Simulacrum, switch him to Delver, I get to draw a card, and then I get to hit him for 6. So Piston Sledge has really been a good addition, and I may end up bumping this up to 3, trying to fit some room, cut something else, but I'm not sure what to cut right now. But so as of right now, I'm only running 2 of them, but it may change later on. And the last artifact that I want to talk about is Ichor Wellsprings. This is a 2 casting cost artifact, and whenever it comes into plays or goes to the graveyard, I get to draw a card. So pretty much this guy is there for my Piston Sledges, so I can, when he comes into play, draw a card. Whenever I sacrifice him through Piston Sledge, I can draw a card and kind of keep my card advantage up and keep some cards in my hand. So I'm not just top decking every game. That's the reason why I run 3 of them, is because I do run 2 Piston Sledges, because I don't really want multiple Ichords out and them not doing anything. So that's why I only run 3. But I don't want to have a Piston Sledge out and sacrificing my Chalice of Life when I can find a Ichor pretty quickly. But that concludes the instants and sorceries, and plus the artifact section. The next section is lands, and then from the lands, we'll go into fishbowling and some of the little synergies that I found out through playtesting. Thank you.